and breathe out. Exhale. Exhale is wide. Inhale is narrow. Okay. And so you go exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, right? See, back to flat. So I love when the chunk of data that your power bar clears is our inhale bars. It's inhale data. It's not wide and whippy. And so now you know the exhale, the bar, the clearing bar is starting in exhale. Okay. Now, if you go back to, we use C as well off the open. This is where it can happen a little bit after the open, right? Off the open. So look, bar, 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 and a power bar clears it all. All right. So it's more than one bar. And it's preferable if the bars are small. It's more than one bar. It's preferable when the bars are strong. Now, we do have the one bar setup. There's nothing wrong with one bar clearings. Boom, 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 right? And then you have your one bar that clears like that. There's nothing wrong with plays like that. But clearing plays are stronger. Clearing plays are more powerful. All right. So let's go to another example perhaps today. Let's go to, what about? So, do you see the clearing event? Do you see it? Just if you let me know, I'm curious. Do you see the clearing event? Diego sees it, yep. All right. So here, you've got your little bars, and boom. And to a certain extent, this is a clearing event because it's clearing out this bar, this one, this one, this one. I think that one or most of it. All right. Now, can you combine bars to form clearing? Absolutely, as long as they're all solid, right? Relatively solid. So boom, boom. Clearing events, clearing a chunk of data to the left. These are very powerful ways to play the market after the open. They're also powerful ways to know when you're stopped. Uh-oh, you're getting one in Microsoft now, if I'm not mistaken. When your market, right? Let's see if this can get truly clearing. Because the true combination, right, is power clearing, power bar clearing, or power two, or two bars clearing, right? But Microsoft is clearing that chunk of data. You just need power. Looks like it might form that. So great ways to play later in the day. Great ways to play occasionally off the open. All right. If you really think about it, an RBI, right, is really a miniature clearing. So here, let's go over this. RBI is a miniature clearing event, right? You have you've got the little red bar here. It's not that red bar to be kind of smallish. And then you got the clearing bar, the miniature clearing bar, clearing this bar and that bar. But obviously more powerful is the true clearing of a chunk of data. And this is applicable on both sides of the market. You know, this is applicable on both sides of the market. Here's your clearing bar, right? Beautiful. Off the open, here is NVIDIA clearing out this bar, clearing out that one, clearing out that one. Now this doesn't count, guys, just because of the halt. That really didn't happen, right? So you gotta ignore that. But here's your clearing event off the open. A little off the open, like you can't really have a clearing right at the open unless you're using prior day's data. But in these gap scenarios, there's no prior day's data to clear above. And I find these events like, wow. All right. Yeah, you might have to just refresh it. All right. Everyone sees the charts, right? Yeah. Just log out and log back on, see if that works. All right. So some of the best scenarios for clearing, guys, are this. So I'm gonna draw them. So you've got this, and where it's clearing out a chunk of data that has formed in the upper portion of strength. That's very powerful. You also have the opposite scenario, which could be nice too. You've got the scenarios where your stock has dropped, but gotten far away from that drop, and then boom, you get a clearing event that is far away from the trouble. So if you put this over here, it becomes basically higher odds of something that ignites a dead cat bounce. But put it over here, and it becomes very meaningful. All right. Are there any questions on this? All right, cool. Now, is there anyone who wants me to take a look at something? Like a trade they did, or something that happened in the market? Christian wants me to take a look at Microsoft. Very hard to trade the bars, Betty saying. You got to drop your price range, Betty. What are you trading? Well, Twitter, let me see. Let me see what's hard about trading these bars. So if you buy this bar here, right? So you buy that bar. Yeah, it's like a yeah, 60 to what's he risking 60 cents here? No, that's 40. Well, yeah, no, 60, 70 cent bars, 80 cent bars. Yeah, you got to drop to one lots. You know, that's not a problem with one lot. You know, and work with adding higher volatility. Oh, that works. Yeah, so, all right, let me get you back up here. Yeah, that risk is way too small there. Way too small. You're just going to get eaten up alive like that. You're putting your stock in a $50 straitjacket? No, that doesn't work. I'm not saying that some plays can't have that type risk because let's say, for instance, guys, you take a trade over this little tail bar here and your stop's here, but that's where the stop is. If that's less than 50, that's less than 50. But as a general maximum loss, no, 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 no. So you should be taking your guys. To be honest with you, I don't like average loss per trade less than $100, especially in this market. Double it and see how that works before you bet. Guys, there's this general idea that the tighter you keep your stops, the less money you lose. No, you can tighten too much where it goes opposite. The more money you lose, the more frequently you lose. So you can take something too far. You got to give your stops breathing room. You got to let them bend their knees. You got to let them have some wiggle room. You can't put your employee, you've hired your stock to be an employee, right? To go out and make you money. You can't put that employee in a tight cage and say, maneuver for me. Lock it up in a tight cage where it can barely move. How can it do its job? Give it some freedom. Trust it a little bit. Trust your bars, but give them some room. What do you think a 2-bar stop is doing but giving your stop room? It's a maneuver. You know? All right. So someone want me to take a look at, yeah, it looks power trending to me, absolutely. So somebody want me to take a look at Facebook. Let's see what Facebook has for us. So very nice. I like this. I like this clearing. So look at this bar. Now take these bars. Remember I said you can combine, right? So it's wiping out. It's clearing. All of this. Stop. Market coming back strong. All right, here's your miniature bull 180 off of 200. Like, how do you not take that after clearing? That's just always there, no? Look at this clearing. You got your 200 up there, but what is bull 180? Wow. Did anybody play that bull 180 in Starbucks today? Curious. Oh, it's stuck. My chart stuck. Let me try something else. How about now? Do you see Starbucks here? Okay. Okay. Is it good there? You know, this thing's caught coronavirus or something like that. I'm knowing. All right. Anybody play this bull 180 in Starbucks this morning? Alexandra, you did? Nice. Beautiful. $290 in Starbucks. There we go. That's how we do it. That's a beautiful run there, man. Almost $2. It's crazy. Total $907. Beautiful. Yeah. Scared you? So what can you do if you really want this trade, right? You want that bull 180. It's so powerful. And you got a lot of space here, right? So this is $5 space. What can you do if you can't use the low? What can you do? Take one lot, but what if you still can't use the low? Cut it in half and put your stop right under the 50% level, right? Don't put it at the 50%. Put it a little under the 50%. And that's what you can do with sizable bars. I've always taught you that. You can cut sizable bars in half and count them as 2. So if this green bar is really 2 bars, then the low of the top bar, if you cut it in half, is here. And you want your stop under the low. Right? Does that make sense? Just if you could let me know. All right. Don't be scared. Just be smart. Master, I'm happy I played Microsoft until 11, and for the first time I got $1,350. Gustavo, welcome to the $1,000 club. Welcome. Nice. I told you guys were gonna. I told you guys were gonna do well during this period. A lot of you were asking me, like when I was calling for a market collapse. A lot of you said, Oliver, but what does that mean for us? Are we gonna make less money? Are we gonna have to wait for the crash to be over? I'm like, no. What are you talking about? You're gonna trade better. In many respects, it's easier. You know. Nice, Duval, nice. It is much easier. Guys, give me the number one if you found that the drop that you've been experiencing is easier than the market before. Give me the number one. See, I told you. Your gains come faster and harder, man. If it was up to me, man, we keep these kind of markets forever. The biggest day today, what? Wait a minute, 40,000 or 4,000? 40,000 to finish. Well, welcome to the $40,000 club. Damn, that's crazy. Now, guys, Divinish has been with me a long while, but still, that goes to show you. Divinish, how many years have you? That's crazy. How many years have you been with me? 10 years? It's been that long? Wow. Wow. Congratulations, Divinish. Yeah. Happens, guys. It happens, man. You know, 10 years of putting work in. That's the way it happens to finish. Finish. Are you still out in the San Francisco area? All right, cool. Hope your family's doing okay, man. All right. Well, you know how to contact me. You can come visit me. All right. Microsoft didn't work out. What do you mean it didn't work out? They went up $2. What are you talking about? Guys, you guys crack me out sometimes, right? Are you trying to make me laugh with that? Jesus, are you trying to? It's a $2 move. More. Tried to enter on the clearing. Where did you try to enter at $2 after the clearing? Guys, don't get the ranges all messed up on you, man. Some of you might be getting this. This is a $2 run. Look at the run from the low. So from nearly 145 to over 149, that's $4. And this is what you're saying that didn't work. Like, that's $2. Would you buy it right there? That's not the clearing point. But remember, guys, look, you want the best ones are going to be strong bars. Like, let me show you. Like, look at the Starbucks. See the strong bar? And look, it's clearing. Right? $1 move or $60 stock in a few minutes. That's crazy. You can't expect a home run. Some of you guys are expecting home runs here, and that's not what you should be doing. You know, you shouldn't be doing that. What about a clearing bar that ends in the 20-period moving average, like Twitter? What do you mean that ends in the 20? I understand. So here's your clearing. Well, here's your clearing bar. Here's your ag on the RBI. So what's the question? What about the clear? So, but give me a question about it. Like, I love that play right there. It's beautiful. I love it because of position, right? So if you put this up here, it's a different story, right? But with this space to run, I like it. Yeah. It's so clear when I explain it. Yeah, I mean, but that's the process, Betty. Like, my purpose is to turn the light bulb on for you again, you know? And it's natural for the light that you feel and see now. It's natural for it to gradually fade until we come together again and gradually fade. But that fading will start to take longer over time. And then that fading will sort of take longer for the light. The light will stay on longer, instead of extinguishing so quickly. Because some of you are still at the stage where after this session, you continue trading and forget, and you have lost what we just covered. Some of you are there. And some of you lose it next week. Like you're back all the way to no light again next week. Some of you, it takes a while. It might take a few months and you don't realize you're back in the darkness and it happens so gradually you don't realize it. And so maybe you do a live trading camp retake or something like, oh my God, I realize how much I've strayed or whatever, but that's normal. I call it the dirty rag syndrome, you know, like first you start off dirty. We all do. We're all sinners, right? So we don't start off clean. We start off dirty. We start off as sinners. And you have to go through a redemption process. That process takes time. It doesn't happen in the twinkling of an eye, usually. There are rare times it can happen in the twinkling of an eye, but it's not norm, so I never like to talk about that. And this redemption process usually is a back and forth, like a seesaw. You gain some light, and then you lose it. You gain light again, and you lose it. But each time you lose it, you're not the same. You're still a little bit better. So it's like take a dirty rag and you dip it into some cleaning solution and you pull it out. That rag, many of you here heard me talk about this metaphor. That rag, it might be imperceptible to the eye, but the rag is just a little bit cleaner. You might see it as still the same in terms of its level of dirtiness, but it's a little bit cleaner. It's just not perceptible to the naked eye. You dip it back into the water, you fall down. If you come back, you raise your dirtiness out of that downward position in the water, a little bit cleaner. Down again, up, down again, up, down again, up. And so what happens is that as you're going down and up, you're actually cleansing yourself. As you're losing the light, as you're forgetting, but coming back to the source, you're cleansing yourself. And so the process is, yes, you lose it. You gain it and then you lose it. You gain it and then you lose it. You gain it again and you lose it. You recover, you recover, you recover, you recover. And then you'll find that you'll start to stay in the recovered state longer. And start to stay in the down state less, in the confused state less, in the darkness less. And until your down darkness periods are very few and far between. And that's the process. Don't ever fault yourself for losing it. Don't ever fault yourself for losing consciousness. Don't ever fault yourself for forgetting. The victory is in forgetting and coming back. The victory is in being the prodigal son who leaves the father's house, leaves the source, leaves the money, leaves the position, leaves the place of redemption, but comes back. And if you remember the story of the prodigal son, there were two sons. One never left, and the other left and came back. And when he came back, the father gave him the highest honor of the home, gave him the robe, gave him the ring, gave him the crown, gave him the highest position in the home, gave him a feast, pissing off his other son, who said, Father, I've never, ever left or abandoned you. Why does he get the honor? And the moral of the story is that you can't stay the same and get the honor. So the other son came back, went to hell, came back. In order to come, the coming back is the victory. The coming back as a changed individual, as a more experienced individual, as a more enlightened individual. Even if it was a losing experience, just coming back is the victory. You get the crown, you get the robe, you get the ring, you get the highest honor. You congratulate yourself for coming back. Do you understand what I'm saying, traders? So keep coming back. Keep being the prodigal son, the prodigal children. Come back, 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 and you get the honor. Is the last red bar a clearing bar on eBay? Let's check it out. But I didn't finish this. The 20 period, the fact that this is the 20 period moving average and the 200 is far apart is beautiful. And the fact that this is just clearing from that state is wonderful, guys. So whenever there's space to move, you got freedom. There's no clouds above you, you know? I love that. Can you just sit and wait for clearings to happen? Absolutely. I'm curious, man. This is probably one of the cleanest, most beautiful Bear 180s I've seen in a long time. Did anyone take that? Just curious. Andrew, you did? Nice. Emilio? Nice. Beautiful. Now, I wouldn't expect a new low on it because the move up was so powerful, right? But that's beautiful. Andrew, nice. Okay, awesome. eBay. I love this game. Now, what's the question here on eBay? Is the last red bar a clearing on eBay? Oh, I think you know. This, to me, this is where you want to try your short. Remember, the 200 is not a line, it's a zone. So you're up against the 200 if you want to give this a shot. You got a little narrow bar. All right, that's a narrow bar play. And you get it there. Can you jump into this bar if you missed it? Yeah, you can. But to me, the better short is before this bar, just to give it a shot. You know, so I put things together like this, guys. Look how far off the original low it is. All right, look at what's overhead. And you've gone from wide, right? Wide moving averages to narrow. Now we go back to wide, maybe. But what I'm saying is that it's unconscious to me now. It's sort of like Baba now. Like, so look how far off the low, off the original low Baba is. You're talking many points here. Let me straight the data. So here's the original low. All right. So let's call this 174, 188. What the heck? You're moving, you're wide. Now you're back to narrow, right? Over time. And it's not like my mind is working on these types of things, like thinking of them at the time, but it's now just unconscious competence to me. It just makes sense. So here's your short if you want to try a lower short after that. Right? It'll come, guys. I'm telling you, it will come. It will come. It'll come where it's just, you don't even think about it. I know, Jonathan, you're going to keep rubbing it in my face. I know. The JD. Jonathan's going to rub the JD in my face. I know. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it today. Guys, did you see that Instagram story with the barber that I posted? How hilarious is that? Where he's cutting his hair and his client sneezes. Oh man, I cracked up so hard with that. That's how Jonathan wants to rub me in the face with the JD call. It's hilarious. All right. What else, guys? What else, guys? Talk to me. That's a big, long question, guys. The most powerful thing I've learned from you is do not let the ego decide. Yes, whether it's entry, stop out, or profit, take the plan. The plan decides everything. Yes, that is one of the most powerful things, Jose. Jose's saying that one of the most powerful things he's learned from me is the plan is the replacement of your ego. The ego will compete against the plan. It will be angry that you have sent something to replace it, and it will violently react against you trying to abandon it and give your allegiance to your plan. But you got to keep, and it will trick you to leave your plan, and you got to come back. That ties right into what I'm saying. It'll trick you into leaving. You catch yourself, and you come back. You be that prodigal son. You be that prodigal daughter. You be that prodigal child. Come back, come back, come back. Each time you come back, you weaken the ego. And the ego dies upon the birth of experience. Experiences has to grow up to be strong enough to overcome the ego. So the ego is the imposter of experience. It has no experience, but pretends or tricks you into believing that it is smart. So when you listen to yourself think and you do what you think, you're listening to your ego, right? And so your ego can't be consistent. The very nature of the ego is to be inconsistent. So it can't be consistent. Whenever you try to become consistent, it rebels against consistency. So the the killer of the ego is the birth of the adult experience, not the baby experience, not strong enough yet. But when is your experience an adult? It is when that is a point, that tipping point is different for every individual. Some people that's 10 years, some people that's 10 months, some people that's 3 years. For me, it was 5+ years. But I accumulated enough experience to be able to combat and kill my ego. The experience is the real voice that you start listening to. The ego pretends to be the voice of experience. It is the false, dark representative of the true thing, experience. Now, some people in religious circles call this the resurrection. Symbolically call this the resurrection, call this being born excuse me, being born again, being redeemed, being whatever. I'm just calling it experience, being birthed. And you've heard me say it all the time, guys, you can't be good for real until experience comes into being. It's just not going to happen. You can be good by luck for periods of time, but you can't be good from experience without experience. Okay, so Rab, ask me. Okay, how far back do I look for support and resistance? Well, you're trading intraday, so you know you don't want to look back days, right? That doesn't really have a huge relevance for today in most cases, unless it's a major top or bottom. But it's the most recent, in most cases, the most recent area of support and resistance that matters the most. What did I do in the trading transition before retirement? What do you mean, what did I do in trading? I stopped going into the office. I stopped trading all day. And the beautiful thing that came out of it is a brand new approach and style that I teach you today. You know, or a refined style, I should say. The basis of my style is always the same. Do that, local. How far have you got that one? I see a huge difference between how I played when I joined IFT in November and how I must trade after the LTC we had a couple of weeks ago. You've been on a red streak since last Wednesday. I don't regret it. I believe I'm killing my demons. I'm sure you have students experience this. Any advice? Yeah, sometimes you're because you're winning the wrong way. When you get the right knowledge, you're going to start losing. And this tricks a lot of people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Rap? So you can't look at that. You have to prevent yourself from really getting tricked by that. You know, so if you were doing the wrong thing, but you were getting lucky with it for a period of time, and I teach you the right thing, and you start really being disciplined with the right thing, that right thing, initially, you're going to lose with it. Now, this confuses a lot of traders, guys. And if this is not in Spanish, and I need to get this in Spanish, but there's a 27-minute talk that I need all of you to listen to. You do it tonight before you go to bed, or you do it during your relaxed time. You can't go out anyway. See, it's 27 minutes, but I promise you every sentence, every word, almost every single moment of that 27 is pure gold. And what I talk about, it's on my YouTube channel. And what I talk about, I'll give you the title in just a minute. But what I talk about, guys, is that you are going to, once you learn the right thing to do, you're going to lose. When have I never not told you that? And this confuses so many people. Oliver, I don't get it, but I now know the right thing. Yes, but the right thing is in whose hands? Your hands. And you are still the same. So you still have to go through a metamorphosis inside of yourself to make the right thing work. And I talk very deeply about this. I clear up this conflict. Why am I losing more than I ever have? And I know more than I ever had. Why? Because, okay, you've accomplished the first step. You know what to do. Now you've got to become different than who you are so that you can make the right thing work for you. It's a partnership. I put it this way. I use the same analogy because it works. Just because you go out, you see someone build this beautiful house, and you're like, wow, I can't believe this person built this with their own hands, with his tools in their own hands. So you go out and you buy that carpenter's same tools. The same, in fact, you buy the tools from that person. Now you have his tools, his toolbox, his tool belt, you got everything he uses to build these beautiful things. But if you don't work on becoming a carpenter, those tools of the master carpenter will not work for you. You still have to work on yourself. You still have to become the carpenter. You got the carpenter tools, but now you have to become worthy of the carpenter tools. You see, it's the power from you that flows through the tools. The tools sitting on a table can't work anything. The magic's not in the tools. Yes, the tools are necessary. Yes, the tactics and techniques of Oliver Velez are necessary, but they can't work for you until the hands that utilize my tools are disciplined and responsible and true hands. The tools don't magically make you a carpenter. You can't buy carpentry skill. You have to become a skilled carpenter. Success can't be bought. Experience can't be bought. Tools can be bought, but the other part is your part. No matter what you do, traders, whether it's trading, whether it's a sport, anything in life, you will never be able to escape the fact that you have to work on yourself. You have to become better than most. You have to become more disciplined than most. You have to become more responsible. You have to become more exacting. You have to become more cool, calm, collected. You have to become less emotional. You have to become these things, and this improved you now flows through the tools. But if you think that you can throw a few dollars around and buy your way into the upper echelon of trading or anything else in life, you're going to die very disappointed. because you will never find that. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Does this make sense? Now, let me give you the name of that talk. Do it in your leisure. The reason why I know this so freshly is because I listened to it this morning. It's crazy. I was even captivated. I was like, I said that? That was me? Wow. Crazy. Let me get a meter for you. It's the money does not come from the market. Look for it. Look for it. Money does not come from the market. I think that's it. Yes, dear traders, money does not come from the market. That's 3 years ago. Money comes from you. No, it's on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Money does not come from the market. Let's go to YouTube and type that title in. Money does not come from the market. This 27-minute talk will change your trading life if you haven't listened to it. And if you have listened to it, it's going to elevate where you are right now again. All right, I promise you that. Awesome. It's in your favorites, Clifford and Sunrun? Nice. All right, you got the links there, guys. Okay, Deanna, cool, the envelope story. Awesome. Yeah, it's just one link. Yeah, they posted it. Yeah. Money does not come from the market. But guys, you see, this type of knowledge that's in that video I'm telling you, and what I'm talking about here, because it's similar, not the same, it changes something inside of you, you know? Like you can't be the same after absorbing these things. It's impossible. Something explodes, something triggers, something shifts. And these small yet paradigm shifts, every now and then, they kind of rock your world, that shake you to the core, to the foundation. They kick off brand new paths, you know? And so in that regard, they don't have a price. Yeah, I like that one, Carlos. Where are you in your trading journey? Oliver, how many trades do you recommend to do in the morning or in the day? Because later I saw more opportunities, but I do not take it. Well, Jeffrey, how many trades on average do you take? Because I think if you're taking 1 trade, 2 trades, that's too small. Not that that can't happen every now and then, but that should not be a regular course of action. 1 to 3, 1 is too small. So, guys, I mean, you're not me. Like there are times I do 1 to 2 trades, but that's different. How are you going to build yourself to the tipping point of experience that I talked about today, going 1 trade at a time? Because you'll be 99 years old, graduated. You know, it's so you got to focus more on experience building than results right now. Careful